My husband and I were going to retire from the circus. And then Miss Silicone Mount Everest showed up. She was always hanging around our dressing room on her G-string and pasties. And then one day, I caught my husband shooting his cannon off with her instead of me. Ugh.
This is Divorce Court, presided over by Judge William Keene. In the case we'll be seeing today, Maxwell Nathan is suing Elizabeth Nathan, his wife of 25 years, for divorce on the grounds of adultery and drug abuse. Mrs. Nathan is countersuing on grounds of adultery and physical cruelty.
I'll hear this case of Nathan versus Nathan now. Mr. Walker, are you going to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. My client has been through a terrible emotional upheaval because his wife is addicted to steroids. And she's also been causing a lot of trouble because of his desire to retire. And she's been having an affair with one of his co-workers. We asked for this divorce on the grounds of drug abuse and adultery. We asked for the circus props worth $10,000, the family trailer worth $40,000, and the majority of the savings, $30,000, and we asked that no spousal support be awarded.
Mr. Hawthorne, do you want to reserve your opening statement or make it now?
I'll make it now, Your Honor. Mr. Nathan made a promise to his wife that he would retire from the circus and the two of them would lead a stable and happy existence. But he broke that promise and with it destroyed this marriage. The evidence will show that Mr. Nathan actually tried to kill his wife and that he also accused her of being a drug addict to cover up his own adulterous affair. We're asking for a divorce on the grounds of physical cruelty and adultery. We're asking for 75% of the marital estate, and we're asking for $1,000 a month in spousal support. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Walker, call your first witness.
I call Maxwell Nathan.
Step forward.
About to testify is the plaintiff in this case, Maxwell Nathan, who charges his wife with adultery. The Nathans have been circus and novelty act performers for over 25 years, and Mr. Nathan is also company manager of their troupe of novelty act performers.
All right, let me hear from the plaintiff.
Mr. Nathan, you met your wife at a circus training camp, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were teenagers. I was learning to be a clown, and she was doing the bareback act with her parents. She was a beauty then, riding around in the ring with her horse and everything.
When did you first realize your marriage was in trouble?
About 5 years ago. Lizzie started complaining about the way we lived, you know, all the traveling, the one-night stands, never knowing where our next job was coming from. Everything that makes showbiz so exciting. She wanted us to retire, but I said no. Then the battle began.
Was the battle verbal or physical?
Oh, it was both. Lizzie looks very delicate, but she can be a hellcat when she gets mad. If we had no work or some jerk didn't pay us for a show, she'd yell, "Retire, get a decent job." And I'd say, "I got a decent job." She'd climb up on the kitchen counter and start tossing pots and pans at me. And believe me, a well-aimed pan can be a killer.
Did your wife's personality change during this period?
Oh, you better believe it. She'd be happy one minute and crying the next. She'd make these insane accusations about me and Yolanda McQueen. You know, the new kid who joined my troupe last year? I'd be teaching Yolanda a few gags, and Lizzie screams, "We're having an affair." Well, I couldn't figure out why she was acting so crazy until I found the drugs.
What kind of drugs?
Oh, steroids. During one of our first fights, Lizzie throws her purse at me, and out pops this pill bottle. She tries to tell me they're birth control pills, and I say, "For what? You know, you have a baby at this late date, and I'll retire on the money we both get from the publicity." She smacks me, but I really see red when I see Oscar's name on the bottle.
So the prescription really belonged to Oscar Spivak, acrobat and juggler.
Yeah. Lizzie finally admitted Oscar gave them to her, and they were steroids. He wanted her to build herself up just like him. When I tried to talk to her about it, she started tossing me around like some helpless medicine ball. All of a sudden, Lizzie's strong like a linebacker. I was hurt. So I moved in with one of the clowns and gave Lizzie 1 week to come to her senses.
And did she contact you in that week?
Yeah, I get a note to meet her at Oscar's trailer at 1 p.m., so I did. Nobody answers the door, but the trailer was knocking up and down and rocking back and forth, so I climbed up on a box and peeked in the window. I saw Oscar and Lizzie naked, and he's crooning, "My little darling, my little darling." So you don't have to hit me over the head with a rubber chicken twice for me to know that it was the end of 25 years of marriage.
I have no further questions.
Cross-examination.
Sir, your circus advertises Lizzie and Oscar somersault sensations. Can you tell us about their act?
Yeah, it's a tumbling act. They make a human wheel.
Isn't it true that the times you saw Mr. Spivak with your wife They weren't making love. They were rehearsing their act.
They're having a tumble, all right, but it was no act.
Sir, didn't your wife tell you that she had considered using steroids but rejected the idea?
Then how come she's so strong? She's a regular Arnold Schwarzenegger whatever. She scared the bejesus out of me.
Didn't you scare your wife by threatening to load a double shot of gunpowder in the cannon she was going to be shot out of that day?
I said that in anger. I did not mean it.
Really? Wasn't your wife treated in the emergency room for burns on her back and buttocks after you shot her out of that cannon?
So I made a mistake and put too big of a charge in it. It's a big deal. I got distracted because all the steroids and Oscar and everything. I certainly didn't do it on purpose.
It was your obsession with Yolanda that caused you to reconsider your retirement plans, isn't that correct?
No. I never wanted to retire. Show business is my life.
Now, once after an argument about retirement, didn't your wife find you and Miss McQueen backstage in a heated embrace?
Unlike Lizzie and Oscar, we're actually rehearsing our act. I kiss her while I'm cutting away the back of her dress, you know, with the big, gigantic clown scissors. It brings the house down.
And are you usually nude when you do that?
What nude? I had on my big boxer shorts with the pigeons hidden in the crotch. There's nothing between me and Yolanda. It's all part of the act.
Oh, no further questions, Your Honor.
Miss Nathan, you may step down.
Thank you.
While Maxwell Nathan leaves the stand, we have time for a short break.